So today I'm going to be bringing you my top 10 best winter designer fragrances for this year, the end of this year, moving into next year. Now I'm a little early on this because officially winter isn't here until like the 21st, I believe, of December, something around there. But it's starting to cool off down into the lows. It's starting to feel like winter here. So I want to go ahead and put this out just to get it out there early. If you guys want to start doing some shopping around to kind of bulk up your winter fragrance collection, you can start grabbing some of these in advance. Got 10 fragrances, all designers, no honorable mentions. Let's just jump right into it. First up, at number 10, we have Prada Amber Pour Homme Intense. So this one has patchouli, myrrh, and amber, along with a bit of vanilla also. For me though, it's all about the patchouli. Now that patchouli note, being the main player, will give it a little bit of a mature smell. Some may go as far as to say it's a little bit dated smelling, maybe a little bit old school. And I could see where you're coming from there. This is not going to be your choice for every guy out there. Most younger guys who are just coming onto this video and wanting to get winter fragrances that pull compliments will want to choose something else other than this one. For me, I'm big into fragrances like this. I love heavier patchouli scents. I love fragrances with a bit of an older school smell to them, and that's why I like this one. There's a ton of depth behind this one. It's more than just like a soapy fragrance, right? Like you may expect initially, surface level from Prada. There's a lot going on here, and it really is quite captivating. If you want something unique, very upscale, very high-end, very classy smelling for wintertime with a little bit of a mature feel, Prada Amber Pour Homme Intense at number 10 is a great option for the cold weather. It really stands out. It has great performance. At number 9, we have by far the cheapest fragrance in this video, and it is an absolute stunner of a scent. One of my favorite cheapies of all time. It's hard to describe how good this one is. You just have to get your nose on it and thank me later. This one is Rochas Man. Coffee, vanilla, and lavender are some of the main notes in here. It's actually cappuccino, and that's what it's all about. So if you're into coffee, whether that be you love to drink it in the morning, or if you just like the smell of it, you have to get your nose and your hands on this one. It is one of the best cheap, budget-friendly coffee fragrances out there. It smells so good. It's so top-notch. It's powdery, it's sweet, it's very inviting. The lavender comes through as well in here, kind of giving it a masculine balance. Smells amazing. Now there are quite a few designer coffee fragrances out there. I know Halloween Man X is praised as a really good coffee scent. Personally, I think that one is more whiskey and tonka bean than it is coffee, but it is another affordable alternative, and you do pick up on some of that note. And there's some designers that have coffee notes. They're going to be getting them more expensive. For the most part, if you want a coffee fragrance, a lot of times you have to go high-end designer or even over to the niche side of things, and not everyone wants to pay a bunch of money. So by far, at least to my knowledge, from what I've smelled and from what I have, Rochas Man is easily the best coffee fragrance on a budget. Give this one a shot. Absolutely stunning, and it cuts through the cold air like nothing else. At number 8, we have Pure Excess Night by Paco Rabanne. Caramel, myrrh, cacao, vanilla, ginseng, and ginger are kind of the bulk of the notes here. I get all of those, I really do. The ginseng and ginger is what opens this one up. It dries down to the vanilla, the myrrh, kind of a sweetness. Now, be warned that the opening is very spicy, right? Because of the two notes I listed off there in the beginning. And to some, it may take you off guard, but man, does it smell good. The spiciness will start to lay down and smooth out as it's on your skin for a little while, so don't scrub it off right away. Make sure you give it a chance. Because I'll admit, even for me, the first few times I smelled this one, it was a bit overpowering, and I was like, whoa, this is kind of hard to get past at first, but over time you start to get used to it. But once you're in it for the long haul and you experience the dry down, the opening is something that you can write off if you don't care for it that much, because the dry down is what this one's all about, and it is incredible. It's a little bit smooth, chocolatey, powdery, that sort of thing. It's quite unique. It's one of the most unique fragrances that I've smelled from Paco Rabanne. Pure Excess Night and Pure Excess are two of my favorites from the entire house. You know, people will be a little bit skeptical when you see 1 Million and Invictus and just all of those related fragrances being the best sellers. A lot of guys who are into this more seriously will probably write off the whole brand because of that, and I don't blame you, right? It's easy to make that kind of choice that, oh, Paco Rabanne, not for me, but you gotta try Pure Excess Night. I've said it before, I'll say it again. This does not smell like something that's coming from Paco Rabanne. This could come from another designer brand, a higher end brand, and I would believe it. It's a great scent here at number 8. It's a nice people pleaser, not as much as the original Pure XS, but for me, I'm not really going for people pleasing ideas with this one. I'm going for the fact that I love wearing it in the wintertime. That spicy opening cuts through the cold, the dry down cuts through the cold. It's a good performer being an eau de parfum. Really nice scent. Number 7, we have another one that's relatively affordable, and it's from a great designer brand, which oftentimes does have fragrances on the more affordable side. Azzaro Pour Homme Intense. Probably can't even hardly see that due to the lighting, but there's not a whole lot in here. Luckily, I have a backup. Cinnamon, brandy, and amber are a few of the main notes. Another one that is no stranger to the channel. It's one of those fragrances that I was not really expecting a whole lot out of, I'll be honest. Going into this, I picked it up obviously on a blind buy. That's basically 100% of my purchases. I was like, yeah, this could be good or this could be bad. That was my mindset. I didn't think it was going to be amazing, and I really didn't even think it was going to be bad or didn't think it was going to suck, but I thought it was maybe just going to be okay. When I got this one in, it exceeded my expectations in every way possible. One thing that I love to see is that you guys love this fragrance as well. A few of my Chaos Parfum members, shout out to Jay, he posts this one up in our group chat as his scent of the day all the time. So he's loving this stuff. I know a lot of you guys love it as well after me kind of bringing it up. It's one that kind of flew under the radar and still does, in my opinion, at least in comparison to a lot of the other heavy hitters in here. It can be had for not a whole lot of money, and it is an amazing smell with great quality, great performance. It's a boozy, very spicy, holiday smelling scent. It would have been a good one to wear on Thanksgiving. It'd be a good one to wear on Christmas Eve, Christmas morning as well. Just an amazing scent. It puts a smile on my face every time. At number 6, we have Guerlain L'Homme EDT Eau de Toilette. So when putting this video together, you know, I have a couple different approaches here. Obviously, you know, this is going to be a collection of what I'm going to wear a lot. You know, that's why a lot of people will click on this video. They're curious to see, oh, what's Dallas going to be wearing for winter? And this is it right here. Obviously, other things as well. And there will be a niche video because I'll be wearing a lot of my niche fragrances as well. But this is kind of what I'm most excited to wear / what I know I'm going to wear a lot because I like them a lot. But the point is, another route that I go with these videos is I try to make them accessible for you guys. You're clicking on this video for recommendations to, you know, add winter fragrances to your collection. So I want to put in fragrances that are available to you. This one here at number 6 is L'Homme EDT Eau de Toilette. I would put the EDP in here, but you can't find it anywhere. It's sold out on discounters. It's not on the official Guerlain website. But this one is all over the place on discounters for a good price. So instead, I'm substituting this one in so you can get it. Almond, tonka bean, and leather are some of the main notes. Now, don't think that because, oh, I have to put this in instead of the EDP, don't think that this one is inferior. It's not. It's one that I'm okay with substituting in because I actually really like this Eau de Toilette a lot. It gets overshadowed because of the EDP and the extreme version, which is also really good, and also L'Intense. But at the end of the day, this good old Eau de Toilette still smells absolutely killer. And in some instances, you know, I almost like it better than the EDP sometimes because it's not quite as super strong and in your face. It's a little bit more of a wearable approach on the EDP, and overall I think something like this and the Extreme would be a bit more mass appealing than the Eau de Parfum, at least from my experience. It's a great scent here. This is kind of what kicked off this whole fragrance DNA, and it's still one you should definitely look into. At number 5, we have Le Male Les Parfums, their newest, latest, and yeah, pretty much greatest. Cardamom, vanilla, and lavender are some of the main notes. Love this stuff. Well done flanker. One that I can tell they put some thought and some effort behind. It wasn't just one of their summer editions that they puke out all the time and then discontinue and then bring it back again and discontinue it. You guys know the drill there, I'm sure. And because of that, it makes you very cautious and very skeptical when they do release new stuff like this. And for good reason. It's frustrating, right? You see brands do this stuff all the time. They play this game, and so it's easy for us who are really into the hobby to just kind of think, oh, Le Male line, screw it, it's going out. I mean, look what happened to Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue until they redeemed themselves this year with Forever. Similar thing that goes on here, but you know, I'm always going to try it, right? It's all part of having a channel, and luckily for you guys, I can try it, spend my own money on it, and if it sucks, I'll tell you, and if it doesn't suck, I'll tell you as well, and then of course you'll have to buy it because I said it was good, and then you want to try it as well. So that's kind of how the process goes. Going into it, I had decent expectations, and I came out really loving it, and it exceeded my expectations overall. It's spicy, it's oriental, it's sweet. It's kind of like a hybrid of Ultra Male and the original Le Male, but with a spiciness added on top. So it's got sweetness, it has some freshness, and then cardamom on top, giving it an oriental spicy smell. That's really what it's all about. It's going to be a bit more mature, a bit more grown up, and a bit more refined than Ultra Male. Really like this one a lot. I think they did great. The performance is good, the smell is great, the quality is great. This is a nice one for wintertime, and it cuts through the air really well. At number 4, we have Mercedes-Benz Club Black. So this one has vanilla, it's got benzoin, and it has ambroxan as a few of the notes, but really all you need to know about is the vanilla and the benzoin. It's a vanilla heavy scent. So the vanilla note itself is giving off like a syrupy, almost in a way, slightly boozy smell. Like a slightly boozy bourbon vanilla, just a little bit. It's very syrupy, it's very sweet, it's very upfront and strong. The benzoin gives off a kind of a dusty, powdery vanilla balance, and the ambroxan is more or less up in the top, giving it a bit of a sparkle. This one's for vanilla lovers. If you're not a fan of the note, steer clear of this one. But if you do like the note, I would go as far as to say this is a must-have. It's a great scent. I love it so much that I bought a couple bottles of it. I think I have 3 in total, including this one here. So I'm good on it, right? I have it. I normally don't do that. For some of my favorite fragrances, I'll buy maybe 1 extra, so I'll have 2, but not always. And so for me to buy and have a total of 3 bottles, that says something. That means I'm actually into it, and I really, really like it a lot. I find this one to be so inviting and cozy, and it really gives you just a nice warm feeling when it's cold outside. At number 3, we have L'Instant de Guerlain by Guerlain, or just LIDGE. Right? And this is the eau de parfum. So the new bottle style, that sort of thing. I almost said new body style. New bottle style. What do you know? Another patchouli scent. I love patchouli of this variety. You know, the patchouli in here is, you know, kind of like a patchouli in Prada Amber Pour Homme Intense, which I featured at number 10. It has a little bit of a similar thing. Now, the scents themselves are different, but the patchouli kind of gives off a similar thing. This here, just so you know, is another fragrance that will be maybe a bit more mature for some, for teenagers and, you know, guys in college. Get something else. But for people who want something a bit more mature, refined, that sort of thing, this here is just so, so good. So it's got patchouli, it's got cacao, it has a nice creamy sandalwood, it's a little bit dusty, chocolatey, woody, a tiny bit earthy, but very sweet as well. I gotta spray it again. There's something about this that I just can't quite put my nose on, but it's so good. It has such like a classic refined smell to it. Just love this stuff. It really works well and smells great when it's cold outside. It doesn't quite wrap you up and warm you up like some of the others in here, but this would be more for if you're going out, hitting the streets, you know, going to some restaurants, going just out, and you're going to be out in the cold, that sort of thing. It has a lot of power to it. It kind of has a commanding, confident smell, and it'll cut through the air really well. If you're looking for a cuddling scent, this one won't quite be it. There's some others in here that we've covered that would be better for that, but it really does punch through the air good. If you live in a city like Chicago, the Windy City, and you're going out, hitting some restaurants, do some shopping or whatever, and you're walking around, wear this one and you're going to crush it. At number 2, we have Armani Code Absolu. A little bit of a rhyme there. It wasn't intentional, but it did work out pretty good. So it's got vanilla, suede, orange, and tonka bean as some of the main notes. I've talked about this one so much. Probably feels redundant, and I apologize, but I have to include, you know, stuff that I'm going to wear. I have to include stuff that I think is a good recommendation for you, and that's 100% how I feel about this one. This and Profumo are 2 of the best flankers in the line. This is going to be a bit more mature and refined than Profumo. Maybe a bit better for close encounters, dates, for guys who want something a bit less playful. Do keep in mind it is still very sweet, so may not be for everybody, but it'll be for a lot of you guys out there. And when I'm talking about the younger crowd, this one would be great for you as well. High school, college, that sort of thing. You want something to wear in the wintertime that gets compliments, check this one out. And number 1, you saw this one coming. I'll try not to give it away. Actually, I don't care, because you knew it was going to be this, right? I mean, come on. I'm sorry, nothing new or exciting here, but a fragrance that truly I think the world of. At number 1, Viktor & Rolf Spicebomb. I mean, it's just so good. I'm sorry they created something that's so good, right? If this would have sucked, it would have never been in any videos, right? but it doesn't suck. It's one of the best designer fragrances out there, in my opinion. Tobacco, vanilla, black pepper. It just doesn't get old for me. I've had this one for a little while at this point. I've worn it quite a bit. And each time I spray it, it's still almost like the first time. It's like, wow, there's something magical about it. This is very much a holiday fragrance. I've also touched on this many times, but it's one that you could wear, on Thanksgiving, but really for me, more so once you get into December like now and the Christmas decorations are out, that's when this one really starts to feel right. And even all the way up to Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, spending time with family, that sort of thing, opening presents. This one is a phenomenal choice. And even New Year's. I mean, you gotta love New Year's. It's kind of like the end of the holiday season and everyone's feeling great and partying and having their New Year's resolutions, which basically no one sticks to anyway, but it's a fun time and it's fun to go out and spend some time with friends and family and just, let loose a little bit. And this is another one that works great for that. Kind of like one last hoorah before the holidays are over. And then you just are stuck with January and February, super cold, miserable months if you live somewhere where it's cold. Yeah, I don't like the winter very much. At least leading up to that point, you have the holidays and presents and stuff to look forward to. But then after that, all you have to look forward to is spring. And you still got a ways to go. So yeah, number 1, Spicebomb Extreme. Gotta love it, gotta have it somewhere in this video. It'll always be in this video somewhere. If something comes up and dethrones this one, which could happen, I suppose, at some point, then it'll be knocked down, but I don't think there will ever be a top 10 designer winter video without Spicebomb Extreme in it for me, and probably without Armani Code Absolu as well. That's just kind of how it is for right now. I say that, and then next year they're not in the video at all because, a bunch of new stuff came out that was way better, but I doubt it. So yeah, there you go. That's my top 10 winter designer fragrances for 2021. Let me know what you guys are going to be wearing the most this winter time. And if you want to grab any of these for yourself, they will be linked down below. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy. We'll see you tomorrow with another one. Take care.